So it's now the end of October. As you can see, we've just started to have our first frosts in the last few weeks, and we've been very busy down here on the nursery over the last month or so. The main thing that we've been doing has been reglazing the greenhouse, which, as I'm sure you'll remember, has been without glass for about a year and a half now. We thought that putting the glass in was going to take forever, but actually it only took us 2 weeks, which was a huge relief, as it's freed up time to do other projects. Partly looks so good because all the glass has been washed and cleaned, which was a big job, and also we've repainted the outside of the greenhouse and painted all the windows and the doorways. We've painted this lovely green colour, which may well become our corporate Halecat colour. This end section here we've decided to leave open with this beautiful vine coming out of it, partly to give us a bit less to do, and partly because actually we really quite like it with the plants growing over it, and we thought we can keep the vine, we can add other things, possibly some wisteria, different coloured vines with different coloured leaves, darker leaves, and maybe even some tropical type things exploding out of the top of it. It was also a huge bonus because it gave us tons of spare glass, which we used to replace the bits that have broken in the rest of the greenhouse. As you can see, the plants are starting to really get frosted now, which means they'll die back over the next few weeks, ready for their winter hibernation. The borders, these stone edge borders, are pretty much all planted up now. That's been done over the last 5 to 6 weeks really. There's not much evidence on the top of all the planting that's gone on, but underneath all the roots should be growing away, should have really established themselves nicely by now, meaning that in the spring we'll get a fabulous display that will develop over years to come. When it gets quite as cold and frosty as this, you're always a little bit apprehensive about what it's going to do to the plants. And as you can see from this ligularia here, it has a real effect on making the leaves curl, making them droop, and you're constantly worrying that all the plants are going to die because of the frost. But actually, this being done to them, this is purely a natural response by the plant to the cold. They're meant to die down over winter, and this is basically the trigger that'll make them shut down and go into their basically rootstock state for over the winter. The only thing is we do have to be careful about them freezing too much and for too long, so hopefully, even though it's very cold tonight, we've still got a lovely sunny day, and these should defrost during the course of the day today, but it's when you get plants that are frozen constantly for days and days and days, which can actually lead to them drying out because they can't get any water. It's all locked up in ice, and so as a result of this, just partly to ease our minds, I suppose, we will get some horticultural fleece in and probably fleece a lot of the plants if it is going to be as cold as this, just to stop the roots freezing quite so much as they are in the pots at the moment, because even though naturally the tops would freeze when they're planted in the ground, the roots wouldn't freeze quite so solidly and quite to such a depth because it would be insulated by the soil.